L's this weekend, let me tell you. Liverpool got a big at the hands of Crystal Palace. And Stevie Nicol was rattled. But before we get Stevie's reaction, let's hear from Arne Slot talking about conceding that late winner.
We can only blame ourselves by defending is the way we did. So one of our players decided to run out because he wanted to play a counter-attack, which was of no use because time was up. So it was only about defending. So yeah, maybe we were too offensively minded. Not we, one player was too offensively minded in that moment, which led to them scoring the winner, us losing the game.
All right, Stevie Nicol, thoughts on, of course, the game overall and what Arne Slot had to say?
I don't like what Arne Slot's talking about.
For the first time.
Well, I don't know, because I heard it and I tried to figure out what he was talking about. And I'm going to assume it's Frimpong, because that can be the only answer. And Frimpong, when the throw comes in, the first header up in the air, Frimpong takes a couple of steps out. The play before the throw-in, Kerekes clears the ball with his right foot and sticks it on the halfway line. So that's where the problem is. The problem isn't Frimpong trying to go forward. Because Frimpong, when he was brought on, I guarantee, again, was told, you get forward, we're getting beat here, you get forward every single minute and every chance you can. So he's hyped up to go forward. But as I said, he does get back in. So for me, that's not the problem. The problem was Kerekes. That's where, if he's pointing a finger, that's where he should be pointing at.
And you're pointing the finger at Kerekes. Let's continue to point the finger anywhere other than Frimpong. 3 headers. 3 headers after the throw-in. And you didn't win. You didn't clear your lines. And eventually we're going to say, oh, it's Frimpong. That was the issue. It wasn't the 3 headers. It wasn't the Kerekes misclearance. It's Frimpong because he took a couple of steps forward. And in saying that, and in pointing the finger at Frimpong or pointing the finger at one specific situation, I think you're losing sight of the more important sort of global point about Liverpool. We just saw the stats. They had more than 70% possession. Liverpool did. And yet in the expected goals, whatever you may think of that stat, Crystal Palace's number was higher than that of Liverpool's.
Yeah.
So without having the ball, they seem to have been more dangerous. Without having the ball, they seem to have created more problems. And that speaks to something that I think has been an issue for Liverpool from the very beginning of the season. This team, while they may have a lot of names that offensively are impressive, they lack balance and they lack strength in areas in which you need to be strong in order to win a league title. Now, we keep saying they're going to get better. They're going to get better. And all of that rhetoric was acceptable so long as the team was perfect. But now that the team is not perfect, we go back to, wait a minute. You haven't gotten better. You're not taking a step forward. Games keep coming and going, and we're still seeing the same things. So Arne Slot, you can focus on Jeremy Frimpong or one specific situation, but that's ignoring a much bigger picture and a much broader issue for this club right now.
Do you know, I think this particular game is absolutely, in my opinion, mostly on the players. You look at that stat at 70%. If you didn't see this game and you look at those stats, you'll be like, wow. Had Liverpool been better with the ball, the stats would have been 90%.
Yeah.
That's how much of the ball they had. But they kept coughing it up against the best counter-attacking team in the Premier League. And they should have been 4-0 down at half-time with all that possession. That's the biggest problem. I think sometimes we sit here and we talk about Verts and we talk about Isak and we talk about all the money they spent and what's Arne Slot going to do. But, you know, I think we've let the players off a little too much because they've been finding late goals and gotten victories. The players are going to have to look at themselves because it's not just one person losing the ball. The first 45 minutes was ridiculous. It was like watching a bunch of school kids coughing the ball up, picking the wrong pass, trying the wrong pass, making the wrong decision. I mean, it was horrendous. It was easily the worst half of football under Arne Slot since he got to Liverpool. So the second half, you've got to go for it. You make a lot of changes. You know, Ali's right. There's 3 headers, but at the same time, you've taken all your defensive players off pretty much. So that makes it even harder. But yeah, for me, this one's on the players big time. I'm sorry.
Nathan, would you feel some type of way hearing your coach make comments like what Arne Slot had to say?
I think it depends. If he's not said it to me in the dressing room, then I would find it quite strange, yes. And to be honest, the weirdest thing is the fact that he's being so specific, essentially about one player, but not mentioning the player's name. I don't think he needs to say overall anyway. I think the analysis of that goal, as the case of every goal, you could very much, like, as I say, break stuff down and know where you could have done better. I think Stevie's point about Kirkes not kicking the ball away with his right foot is a brilliant one, because it's set so nicely for him to just swing, just your Premier League player, just send that. But instead he send that for a throw-in against Crystal Palace. That is one of their strengths. Them in transition and those long throw-ins and set pieces are a big danger. So to do that,